Hello, everyone. Okay, we're going to start Lord of the Flies today. And so I'm going to give you a little bit of background information, and then you're going to read the first part of chapter one on your own through PlayPosit. It's one of those interactive reading activities, so you need to make sure you answer all the questions, okay? At the same time, you are going to have to be taking notes and highlighting and annotating in your book. So I have included an annotation guide that you will see in the modules. If I, so I will show you that at the very end. Right now, I'm going to go through some background information on William Golding, which you should take in your notes. So you want to start a new unit in your digital notebook. Okay, remember the one that we started at the beginning of the year? Yeah, that one. Okay, so new unit, Lord of the Flies, let's go. Okay, so William Golding. This book is pretty old. It was first published in 1954. And the idea came from a children's story about an island coupled with Golding's experiences in the war. Here's just some background information on the author. And he was part of the British Royal Navy that was involved in World War II. So because of that, keep in mind that this book was written post World War II. And if you have any background information on World War II, you remember we dropped the atom bomb on Japan. So part of the background information for this book was that the students that are in the book, the characters, were involved in a plane crash, and they were actually put on this plane because there was going to be a nuclear war. All right, so this story is an allegory, which is a story, poem, or picture that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning, typically a moral or a political one. It's a symbol. So when you're reading the story, think about what this story might be an allegory for. So briefly, there's a group of British schoolboys are stranded on this uninhabited island after a plane crash. We don't know where the island is, and it's during a fictional nuclear war, not World War II, but this is post World War II. So remember that William Golding was actually in the Navy during World War II, so that's where he got this information. There's two boys, you'll soon find out, that are the main characters in the beginning. And remember, these are elementary, middle school age boys, but actually they are 12 and younger. And most of these are little boys. You'll know they're referenced as the little ones. So these are little kids, not teenagers, not adults, little kids. And this is really important when some of the things that happen later in the book, you will be surprised at what actually these kids are capable of. So don't think about all the adults dying and all children alive. Don't think about where they're flying. Don't think about the island location. You want to make sure that you're looking at, there are no adults. So these boys are trying to follow the rules of society. Their division of labor is agreed upon, and they form this mini society. Think about the types of emotions that play out. The beast on the island. Where might this beast, oh, there's a misspelling. Where might it come from? Okay. And words of the famous president at the time, who was, oh, not at the time, but think of the words of President Kennedy: we have nothing to fear but fear itself. This is a good versus evil story. There's a lot of fears, there's a power struggle, and as the boys become more and more fascinated and more inclined to do what they want, they start to develop their savage side. Think about conflict, nature versus nurture. Okay, this kind of is, are we, when you look at evil, are we born with it or are we raised with it? And is in society inherently evil? So this is a lot to think about when you're reading the story. So many themes. Humanity needs civilization, contrary to the belief that man is innocent and society evil. The story shows that laws, rules, structure, and society are necessary to keep the darker side of human nature in line. And when these concepts are ignored, then humans revert to that primitive side of themselves, that savage side. Think about behind the theme, evil, which is the beast in the novel, is within man himself. Golding implies that evil is not created, but is ingrained within us all. There's the loss of innocence. And age is not directly related to innocence. Young can be corrupt too. And structure is what saves them. So humans become uncivilized, and maybe, as Simon says, there is a beast. Maybe there is a beast, maybe it's only us. So this quote portrays the message that Golding is trying to express, that the heart of man is not good and kind, it is actually selfish and corrupt. What's the significance of the title? Well, in the novel, it refers to a pig's head on a stick, an offering to the beast, becomes the beast, sort of, and it is Lord of the then that pig's head on a stick is actually the Lord of the Flies. And what that refers to is Jesus refers to Satan as Beelzebub in the Bible, which is Hebrew for Lord of the Flies. Lots of symbols in this story. The conch, Piggy's glasses. So as you read, think about all the things that the conch stands for and make predictions. Same with Piggy's glasses, make predictions. How are these symbols going to play out in the book? And Golding in the book uses these symbols to represent different meanings within the book. For example, the title Lord of the Flies represents evil. The conch shell is used to represent order in society. So keep an eye out and make notes and annotate on anything that could be symbolic. And there's a lot of symbols in here. The characters also play out as symbols. So in addition to objects, the people and characters can be symbolic. What are the various character traits that can be used to describe humans? As you take notes, take note of each character and write down their character traits, because at the end, you're going to be asked what that character represents. So certain characters have stronger attributes. One character embodies wisdom, one evil, etc. And then there's the island, which we won't talk about this quite. It's a perfect microcosm. It's like an ant farm. So it becomes this, there's leaders, there's followers, and everybody has a role in order to survive. Different areas of the island are associated with different ideas. The beach, okay, dreams, hope of rescue. What does the mountain represent? What does the bush, the forest represent? What does the rocky outcrop represent? These are all things that you need to think of as you're reading the book. Here's kind of a sketch of the island, so you can get a little bit of a visual of what it might look like. But Golding uses a lot of visualization and imagery in the book so that you get a very clear picture of what everything sort of looks like. And the heart of the matter, the heart of the human condition is the condition of the human heart. Why is this relevant? Is our civilization really civil? You might want to think about the show Survivor, which was based on this book, and think about a lot of things that are actually happening today. The mob mentality, what happens when something gets out of control. Good people are capable of bad things in certain situations. So there's a little bit of background information. I have included this presentation in the module. So if we were to go back, and let me just find where I want to go. No, I don't want to share. Okay, so let's look at the module so that you know where to find stuff, okay? In the module, this is not the right thing that I wanted to find, but that's okay. In Canvas, in modules, you'll find a new module, Lord of the Flies. Down here, I put it at the top. You'll find this presentation that I gave you earlier, and you'll also find this annotation guide, which if you're to open it up, it's going to tell you some things that you should look at as you're taking notes, okay? Figurative language, character development, theme development, all of these things. So make sure you read this while you're reading the book. Now, as you go through the PlayPosit, it does give you places that you should note and take notes on, but you should also be taking your own notes on different things, especially with the characters and the imagery that goes with that. Okay, so that's all for today. And make sure that you get this done. Remember that if it's not done today, then you're not going to get credit. You're not going to get those 5 points. It's not like last time where you can wait till the end of the unit in order to get everything done. You must get it done today. All right, so I will see you guys all soon, and that's it for today. Enjoy Lord of the Flies.